So this screen is visible to you. I hope this screen is visible. So this is the program that the question is given last class. This program, some of you have done the execution, and for those who have not done the execution, try to do the execution, because today we are going to start the next program. But before that, if any doubt, I'll just go to this program once again before starting next program, and also you can ask your doubt. I will explain again if needed. So this program, as we are discussing, is a Java program that accept two integer values, store it in array. So this particular program, there are many things involved in the same program. Firstly is to accept user input. So how to accept user input, that you will learn in this program. Secondly, how array is initialized, you will learn in this program. Then how value then how class is created, you will learn in this program. How function is called, you will learn here. How to print something in the screen, you will learn in this same program. How to create a object, you will learn in this program. How to uh, create a public data type, you will learn in this program. How to create a private data type, you will learn in this program. How to return a value, you will learn in this program. So these are basic things whose definition you know, that what is meant by input and what is meant by output, what is meant by return of a function, what is meant by array, what is meant by uh, access, what is meant by function call. These basic things are known to you. So that is why that is why this program contains many small statements, which in the first it may look confusing, but ultimately it is a use of those basic concepts to execute this program. uh, so let us start from this first line, import. So import is the same like include header file. So it is a header file, it is the scanner header file, java.util.scanner. Now dot, you know how why dot is needed. Dot is needed when we go to go to access member of a particular class or package or object. So dot is needed to access the inner member of a object or a class or a package. So java dot, so when we give java then a dot, that means java contains many class. Out of those I want access only util. So give the util java dot util. So dot means the member access operator. This dot operator is available in your structure C programming also. So you have used it before in structure in C program. So dot member access operator. Member access, member means a part of a group, member, and member access means to be able to read and write a particular value. So java dot util dot scanner. So subdirectory, or you can say that two stages of um, traversing. Instead of one dot there is two dot. That means java is the main folder. Inside it you have util, and inside the util you have a scanner. So you have to import this library because this library is stored in this particular scanner folder. So how to import this library is the statement given like this. That is the your scanner class. Scanner class will be used for accepting the user input. So directly import scanner you will not write. So because to define the path where the scanner contain, and you have to you will need to define the complete path. So the Java folder contains many packages, many classes, user defined classes. This is a n library classes, and these are the import is the library class. Util is a library class already built in, and scanner is a library class. It is already built in class, and you will use it. Then public class lab underscore 1. So public means we want this class to be able to be make public because it contains a main function. So main function should always be public. As you know, public means, if you remember, data value that is able to be accessed from outside of the class without inheritance or with inheritance. Public member is available to access with inheritance or without inheritance. Both way it is possible. So since main function is to be able to be accessed by Java engine, since it is to be accessed by Java engine, that is why it is required. That is why it is required. That is why it is required. That is why it is required to be made public. And the since main function is public, the class also have to be made public. That is the idea behind the use of the public. Main function is the public. Similarly, there is another function not main, and it is the private. Now private, if you remember, it is something that is not allowed to be accessed with inheritance or without inheritance. Public means public and private completely opposite. Public means access, free access. Without inheritance also you can access the main function, and without inheritance or with inheritance, both way main function is able to be accessed. That is the meaning of the public. That is the means the meaning of the public. Now we are not going to do inheritance of the main function, we are not going to do that, but the definition of the public means that it allow this main function to be inherited and to be used without inheritance. Both way it is possible, public. And main function always must be make, you have to make it public. That is the structure. There is another function not main, which is made a private. So private means opposite to public. No access is allowed. Even if inherit this class lab1, not main function will remain in lab1, not be sent to the subclass or to the derived class, as normally happens in inheritance. as if you remember definition of inheritance, that is extracting the existing functionality of a present class. So without writing the same class, we can extend it, we can inherit it. That property is called inheritance. If it is a private, it is not allowed. So we have a main function. Now this program can be written inside main function, but from the main function we jump outside of the main function and we start a new function called not main function. So not main function is a private function. So a private function is accessed only from within inside the class. Uh, See this private function, it is a private function. A function can start only when you call it, you invoke it. Function do not start itself. You have to invoke it. If you are not invoking it, not no function start by itself. Like if you start a main function, then addition, subtraction, printf, for loop, all will be completed line by line, one statement after other statement after other statement, then finally return 0. If you write a program in the main function, then you start in the first line, then up to return 0, sequentially all statement executed. If in between there is a function, function will not be executed automatically. You have to invoke it, that is, so you have to invoke it. So this particular function is a private function. This private member means not allowed to be accessed outside this class, outside this lab underscore 1. Private means only inside this class you can call it, you can not call it, it is depend upon you, but if you want to use it only inside this particular class. The movement of the not main function restricted only inside the class. That means if you write a function, you are the developer of a class, you want your class not to be inherited by a subclass, so you write a program in the function. So you not invoke your function, will you simply write the function and keep it as it is? Yes or no? If when you write a program, you write a function, you make the function private. Why you make it private? That is the first question. What is the meaning of this private? Private means someone else who want to use this particular class lab underscore 1 can use everything, but not what is private. Any external class that want to use the features of lab underscore 1 can use everything except what is made private. So you are making a restriction in this function. So when you write a program, you restrict your program to be able to be accessed by someone else. But Java does not stop you from calling what you have written. So when you write a function program, Java allow you to call yourself, but not allow the other program to inherit a private member, not allow other program to call a private program or a private data or a private member. But if you are the owner of the class, means you are developer of the class, you have written the class, the source code is with you, so inside the class you can make a call, you can make a reference to a private member, that is allow. Inside a class, the area of movement of a private member, maybe it's a data member or a function member, is within a class. So here in this example, class is lab underscore 1. So the not main function is a function. A function can start only when it is invoked, and when it is invoked, this is the structure of the invoking. We write the name of the function and we give it some uh, parameters, some arguments, then the function start, that is called the function call. So in this particular line, uh, in this particular line yes in this particular line in this particular line in you will in this particular line, you will just get a idea of how that a function call is the same like the C program function call, no difference. Function call syntax is no difference, only the function definition. When we write the function definition, you have to specify whether it is the public or the private. You have to specify whether it is the public or the private. Otherwise, from here to here, it is same like the C program. You have the function name and you have a return type void, then you have certain arguments. Now basic arguments and primitive and non-primitive arguments. Non-primitive data type. String is a non-primitive data type in Java. String is a data type in Java. String is a data type, and when we have a square bracket, it become a array. Anyway, then so we are making a jump from this part of the section, then we come to this part of the section because of the function call. Then we have a original array, initialize original array, initialize result array 00, then system dot out dot println. Now dot means it is a member access operator. So system S capital system dot out dot println. Enter two number A and B. So it will be displayed in the screen, enter two number A and B. Then scanner is a class. If you know, scanner is a class, and a class contain member. To access member of a class, you have to create the object. So how to create the object? First you have to write the class name, then you have to write the object name, then is equal, new is the keyword, then the same this class name. So scanner sc is the name of the object that you're going to create for the scanner class. So every class should have a object. Without object, class member is not allowed for your access. Without creating object, a class member cannot access, because the class name, if you give the class name without, if you give only the class name scanner dot something, then you cannot initialize values different nature. The student id, if it is a string, a roll number, student id, roll number, department, then if you don't create the object, then whenever you access uh, the roll number, you get the same roll number. So only one student you will be able to create a object for that. But if you have a class and if you have multiple object, say student 1, student 2, student 3, student 4, then by use of object, every instance will have different values. So different initial values for the same class, for the same data type, different values. So object is must. So it is a rule that when we use a class, we create the object. So when we create a class scanner, create the object, then is equal to new scanner. New is the keyword, scanner is the same class here, it is the syntax, and inside is system.in. This is the syntax for user input, is the syntax for user input. So system.in is another object. System is a class, system object, system, these are library object. We are not creating this object, these are available in the Java library. So system.in, so system.in object is given as a parameter, like here string is a parameter, like here string is a parameter. Similarly, this particular scanner class, this particular scanner class is taking a argument system.in. is taking an argument system dot in. Okay. Any question here? Any question up in this part? Are you able to see the screen? Uh, Screen is not visible. So let's start from this part. So this particular line scanner SC is equal to new scanner system dot in. Now this particular statement, there are few things you have to know, few things you have to remember. Firstly, the syntax how to create a new object. New is the new is the keyword. New object. Scanner is the class for which object is created. SC is the object name. And inside there is something. This is called, what is this thing? This is argument. Then there is another here, another new. So whenever you see new, means it is related to object creation. That means you are able to access member of a class. Without object, a member of a class cannot access. So inc is a class. From this particular line you can understand that inc is a class. Inc object name new inc. Here it is written object creation. So this is also object creation, this is also object creation, but this particular object creation is a system defined object creation. So it is written here user entry. You will enter the user value using this. Now this is this particular line is clear, no? This scanner line and inc line both create object. This is also using the new, this is also using the new. Up to this much is clear. Now we come to the second point in this statement, system.in. This system.in is written inside a bracket. That means it is passing some value. System.in is written inside a bracket. That means system.in means it is contain something, but it is contained inside a bracket. That means scanner is a function. That means this particular scanner is a function, because only function can pass argument and only function can accept argument. That is the rule. A class cannot accept a argument. You see here you can see here main function is accepting, the main function is accepting certain arguments. So I'll do one thing. I'll show one execution. Java Lab 1 So I hope this output is output you can output is visible to you. Okay. So now I will do some just little editing in this program. You don't have to do it. You do it later on. What I am going to do is you are you want to see what is this argument. So I'll show you what is this argument is doing. System.out.println. Now, as we say, argument contains array. It is a array. It is a argument contains array. So array indexing can be possible by writing in the square bracket. So this I want to print what is this array 1. Okay, and so now I will print both this value. I will print both this value. I will print this value before the program execution start. Okay, so compile the program Java C. So no error. Now we run it. Out of bound. Out of bound. Now why it is coming out of bound? Out of bound means outside the size. Now what I have given here? I have given here. See, I have given here the first line system.out.println. This particular array string, this particular array name is args, and it is a string array, and I want to print this value. Since the array is blank, that's why the size is 0. The value have to be there in the array. So see how this argument value can be given. This time error will not come. Java lab 1, you see, before executing, I want to say you that this is a main function, right? This is a main function. This value is going inside the main function. Are you able to follow? This is a main function. Argument is given for the main function, and this is the name of the class. This is the name of the class lab1. The main function is not mentioned anywhere, but still the output is going to come. This is this concept. This concept we will discuss, but you understand, I am not writing this like this. I am not going to write main comma like this. No, only the name of the class. After that I will write today is Tuesday and you are 5th sem. Okay, so Java lab 1 Tuesday 5th semester. Enter. What is coming? Argument 1 fifth. Oh, okay, sorry. 1 and 0. Okay, 1 and 0. So Tuesday 5th September. So argument so argument 1 Tuesday, argument 2 5th September. This particular output I have written inside main function. How the output is coming? In the in here no mention of main function is given, only the class name is given. That means main function by default it will always execute. Main function by default it will always execute, because that is the logic. You have to apply some logic. Here no mention of main function is there, no mention of lab1 dot main function is there. If that was some program like Python allow you to write lab underscore 1 dot main, that is allowed, then understanding is easy. But in Java here, main function, that I am executing the main function of lab 1 or lab 2 or lab 3. So I am writing the program Java space lab 1, then I am giving two values. These two values is called command line values. These two values is called command line values. They are the value that is given to the main function before the program start. That's why it is called command line. Command line means this particular command, the Linux command that you write is called a command line. Or that C program, this uh, run shell, when you execute the shell, when you run the uh, in the DOS prompt, that is called command line. So when argument is given from the command, not from the user. Command means before the means the you give the command for the program to execute, and while you give the command to execute, at that time you give the argument. This is, you must have done dot slash a dot out space 1 comma 2 comma 3, those command line values. So when you execute the program, before the program execute, you give the value, command line value. So main function is a function that is default, it is executed for every program. Main function is executed, you want it or not want it, when you run a program, main function is always executed. You cannot control it, you cannot control the execution of main function, it will always happen. So when you provide a value at the command environment, main function accept. Main function is the magnet that will extract these command values. So you don't have to give the main function explicitly, only the name of the program is sufficient. That means a class that means a class can accept arguments. Generally arguments can be accepted only by a function. Argument can be accepted only by a function, but this particular concept explain that a class can also accept function. This this type, this is called command line, this is called command line value. So here one thing is clear to you, that class can accept value. Okay, means if you not value accept argument. So here it is a argument. Initial values and command and for function parameter and initialization value, two different thing. Initialization value of a variable university is equal to Assam Downtown University, and giving the value as a function argument, two both different thing. In particular here you are giving value as a function argument, but without mentioning the name of the main function. This particular main function is written inside the lab1 class, and the value is given by writing the name of the class lab underscore 1. That means class, we are giving the argument to the class. and main function by default it takes all the variable. Main function by default it takes all the variable. First point. Second point is class that does not have a main function can also take directly variable. I will say again, if a class have a main function, the value can be given directly by like this command line argument. When a class have a main function, the value can be given directly to the class by writing command line argument. A class have a main function, so we are not writing the name of the function. We are not if you write the name of the function, then it is easily understood. I don't have to explain so lengthy. But here, this particular Tuesday and 5th semester is assigned to a class called lab_1, but the printing statement is coming from the main function. Argument 1, argument 2, Tuesday 5th semester is written inside the main function. How it is happened? So that means main function is linking is there between lab1 and main function. So whenever a class lab1 is accepting the value, argument this is printed, args is accepting everything like a magnet. So this particular lab1 class have a main function, that is why it has happened. Now this philosophy is possible for class that don't have main function also. Then we will not call it main function, we call it constructor function. This is a new terminology for you, constructor function. Constructor, main function, and main function will be there for, it will be written there. Main function will not be there, means main function will be written by you. Main function will be written by the user. By us, we write the main function, and wherever we write the main function, that is the starting point. There are many uses of the main function. Main function denote the starting point of execution. Main function, now you have seen that main function also accept the values given to a class. If you give the value Tuesday 5th semester to the class lab_1, what is executed? The main function is executed, and the value that you have given here is transferred to the main function. Now this that is the main function. Secondly, there is another function called constructor function that do the same thing. There are two functions, one is the main function, one is the constructor function that do the same thing. Main function is the keyword. Main function is the keyword, and constructor function have the same, the name of the function is the same as the class name. That is the difference between the main function and the constructor function. They do the same thing. Main function and constructor function, they do the same thing. They transfer the value for the class inside the function. They transfer the purpose of the main function and the constructor function is that when a class is getting a value, like here argument, not value, like argument, then this argument is extracted by the main function as well as the constructor. So constructor and the main function are the first function that is going to be executed. In object oriented programming, you will hear this term constructor many times. Every time you create a class, this concept of constructor is going to come, because not every function have a main function. Main function, your whole program can have only one main function. Your whole program can have only one starting point. You cannot have many starting point for the program. But your program can have many classes, and every class has its own set of environment, its own set of initial parameters.